We have an action-packed week with a lot of new data coming out that should give us some really good insight on what the housing and mortgage markets might look like for the rest of the year. Stay tuned to learn what's in store for the week and what to look for in those reports. So the minutes from the last Fed meeting a few weeks ago will be released, and those can give us some really good clues on the intention of the Fed when it comes to fighting inflation and just how hard they might be willing to push to get it under control. My personal view is that the Fed waited far too long to start curbing inflation. We heard from them month after month from the majority of Fed members that inflation was transitory. It was just a short-term jump due to COVID. All things would go back to normal at the end of 2022 without any true Fed intervention. Well, we know now that's clearly not the case. As of today, all of those members have walked back those comments, and most of them have actually moved to the exact opposite end of the spectrum, now saying that inflation is the number one threat to our economy and that they need to do everything in their power to get it under control. Most experts agree now that the Fed's aggressive measures to combat inflation will eventually push us into a recession. And while that's a bad thing for the job markets, for consumers, if you saw my last market update, you know that housing has a very strong history of performing well in recessionary periods and that mortgage rates always drop during those times, the average 1.25%. The other big release I'm looking forward to is the pending home sales report. Those are signed contracts on existing homes, which is really a finger on the pulse of the housing market. In April, we have two strong opposing forces at play, and it's going to be interesting to see really which one wins out. The report from CAR last week showed that the number of active listings in California surged more than 20% on a year-over-year basis, which was the highest yearly growth in properties for sale since early 2019. Finally, some good news on inventory, right? And on the other hand, we know that rates moved significantly higher in March, about a full percentage point actually. These signed contracts in the pending home sales report truly reflects that higher interest rate environment. So it'll be interesting to see just how much of an impact that has on sales and if it's deterring any buyers. The consensus on that report is that we'll see a slight decline of just under 1% year over year. But if that report comes in significantly higher or lower than expectations, it might be a good indicator of what we might see over the next few months for sales volume with both the new normal interest rate environment and hopefully a continued increase in housing inventory. We'll send an update to everyone with some commentary once that report comes in, but until then, have a great week and take care.